Hi, I'm Dr. Ray Kadkhodaian.
And I'm Jean, and we're the co-founders of the Lighthouse Emotional Wellness Center.
So the name of the lighthouse kind of is a very unique story. The lighthouse became a very important symbol for Jean and my marriage. Right? We got married in 1998. And at that time, the lighthouse had not been created yet. It wasn't even an idea. But our honeymoon was up on the East Coast, and we toured all of the lighthouses up and down the East Coast. The last lighthouse that we saw was Portland Head Lighthouse in Maine.
It was pouring out.
It was raining sideways, and we had to see it, though.
Could just see the beacon out in the distance.
So we pulled the car up, and we ran out of the car. Rain is coming sideways. You see the light sweep around, and you hear the foghorn go off, and you could just imagine any ships in the distance, kind of hearing that, that call to safety.
And, it just became a great symbol for when a person's life is in that place and they kind of feel like they're in the fog or they're in some stormy waters, that, that light in the distance can really be something that helps them get to safer shores.
And so it just became a no-brainer for us to name our company the Lighthouse, just because of what services we provided and how we helped people.
Our unique approach, called Couple Synergy, is the way that we develop working with couples and families, because when we worked as solo practitioners in the mental health field, it was very overwhelming to keep all of those dynamics and personal biases out of the picture. So what we found is that working as a couple with married couples helped us each support both people that are in the couple as well as the relationship in general.
Marriage counseling in general has the worst success rate across the board of all therapies combined. And so in working in many other settings in the mental health field, we found that traditional marriage counseling done by one therapist was not effective, especially when we were thrown into it in that model. So in coming together and creating the Lighthouse centered around working with couples in a very unique way, as a power couple ourselves, we felt that we would best be able to help people.
And we have found that we have a greater level of success, even if that doesn't necessarily mean the marriage stays intact, but that our clients become whole and healthy people.
So the Lighthouse began in 2002, and at that time it was just Jean and I working solely with couples. I would work with the husbands, she would work with the wives, and then we would come together and conduct conjoint therapy. Well, as the word traveled that we were working with couples in a very unique way and being much more successful with them, they wanted us now to work with their children who might be having difficulties in school or adjusting to extended family. They wanted us to work with their parents or with their aunts and uncles. And so it started to grow just organically in that way.
And, we found that working as a couple with couples, it just made sense for us to grow a family to work with families. So the other therapists here will work with other family members of people we work with, or they may work with families amongst themselves. And we found it's a really great approach to making sure everyone is supported and has an advocate so that the greatest success can happen for the entire family.
So a little bit about us as a couple. I mentioned earlier that we were married in 1998, and that was
on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Most people, they go, when they hear that we were married on Valentine's Day. It actually was not our first choice.
No. Our 1-year dating anniversary was February 21st, which is the day we wanted, but the church had a confirmation ceremony going on that day. And the 14th was open, and so was the hall, and it became our day. And also at the time, my son was 10 years old, and so we instantly became a blended family on that day.
And then we went on to have a son between the two of us, and we have just recently become empty nesters. which is another wonderful transition in our marriage. We've been going on now 21 years.
We're also in-laws. Our oldest son, Alec, got married to Angie last January, which was such a fun day.
Yes.
And our younger son is 20 years old, and he's down in Texas at Texas A&M studying nuclear engineering.
Nuclear engineering.
I can't even say it, let alone learn it.
A little bit more about us. We both enjoy motorcycling together. We each have our own motorcycles. We love to go on long rides with friends who like doing that. We just started bowling.
Yeah, we're new to bowling.
We joined a league.
We have skydived together. We have hang glided together. We recently, if you go on our On the Trail with Dr. Ray and Jean page, you can see we just went to Great America, which I had such a great time, but Ray was pretty miserable at. And I would say one of the questions we get a lot from our couples is, do we fight?
Never. Never fight.
I love you, honey.
Never fight.
We not only fight amongst ourselves, we're like MMA fighters because we know so much that we're really good at finding really small things that we need to work through. We also actually fight about our couples.
We do. We absolutely do, right.
So fighting is really normal. Really, really normal.
We're just a normal couple, and, they're going through the same kind of life struggles that every other couple is going through. Our passion is really about helping other couples have healthy, happy relationships. There's no reason why both people in a marriage can't be happy and satisfied.
And their kids benefit from it a lot too.
So some people have asked us why we entitled the Lighthouse the Emotional Wellness Center. And I think that most people are familiar in the mental health field with the terms behavioral health care.
Or mental health.
Or mental health care. We really felt that with the clientele that we were servicing, the terms behavioral health care and mental health care did not truly apply.
We really saw things more in a developmental way rather than a pathological way.
And in fact, emotional wellness, if you look on our website, is defined as a continuing state of awareness, personal responsibility, and acceptance of one's own feelings through growth and change in order to be able to manage emotions effectively, deal with conflict appropriately, and develop healthy relationships. We really feel that this definition embodies all of the work that we do, not just the couples work that we do, but the family work that we do and the individual counseling as well.
And the alternative modalities that we will use when appropriate, like mindfulness and
meditation,
biofeedback, things like that.
Some of the advice that we would give to couples, first of all, couples who are seeking therapy, marriage therapy, and also families that are seeking therapy, and also individuals. Some of it overlaps, but some of it is specific to what you're truly seeking. For couples specifically, one of the things that we would suggest is that you ask the therapist that you're interviewing whether they're married and whether they're happy and satisfied in their relationship. I think it's very important that not only do therapists teach that kind of work, but also live it as well.
Also, we think about doing this type of work as not because you're sick and you are trying to get better, but more like personal training, like you want more out of your life. A lot of our couples are happy, not necessarily happy, but they love each other, and they kind of got stuck in life and they don't really know how to take things to the next level. They've already gotten married and had the kid and bought the house and have careers. And now they're like, now what? And that's what we really like to teach people is the now what. And that's true of individual work as well. People might come in because they have, something that's bothering them specifically, but then they open themselves up to this whole new place of personal growth.
In regards to family work and looking for a therapist that specifies in working with children and families as a whole, I think it's very important to know whether the therapist has children, right? or has experience in working with families. All across the board, ask a therapist, how many couples have they worked with? How many families have they worked with, right? What types of certifications do they have? What specialties do they have? Because it's very important to you and your family, and you want to know that you're in good hands.
And we would invite you to go and visit our staff pages. You can see their bios, where they also have answered a few questions. And, you can already from that see if it's a good personality match for you. And if you have any questions, call our front desk. They're great at helping people match you with the right person that can really help you.
I'm Dr. Ray Kadkhodaian.
And I'm Jean Kadkhodaian.
And we're co-founders of the Lighthouse Emotional Wellness Center in Schaumburg, Illinois.
At the Lighthouse, we not only brighten your day,
we illuminate your possibilities.